I really love those pieced paper envelopes. I couldn't find the first one I saw, who led me to Cori Dahmen's that I saw, and I tried a little few of my own. But what I've decided to do, whoops, this one's sticking. Hold on, just a second. Okay, what I did was on a piece of plastic, I used a magic marker. Excuse me, am interested in making envelopes that would hold some of my zines, these zines. And I need a 6.5-inch square to fold into an envelope that will do the job. So I sketched that out on this plastic bag. And then I think Cori's advice to have 3 types of paper. You can have more. I think it's good to have 3 types, and my types preferably are deli wrap printed, book pages, and brown paper wrapping in this case. I could use others, but those just happen to be laying on my table. And I like to tear them. She sews them, and I could take this upstairs, but I don't want to, so I'm going to just, so what I did is use this thing and lay out either vertically or horizontally, really doesn't matter, these pieces. And if you have anything to patch up, you just glue in. Now, I'm not sure I'll have a good enough, yeah, I think I might just barely make the 6.5 mark over here. I could just add another piece. I might add another book page to the side. At any rate, that's all there is to it. It had a hole in here, so I just put some of the brown paper. And I like the torn edges mostly, although I do find it useful to have the straight edge on the sides so that if I'm going to use my envelope maker, I can more easily cut it. Yeah. So this one here, I'm going to have to put some paper there, I think, and make it a little bit wider, which I'm going to do. But here are some of the envelopes I have made. Hold on. And I think you'll agree they are pretty nice, interesting anyway. That's the back side with the flap. This is the one I made most recently. It's the result of a 6.5-inch square. However, they look so artsy, particularly if you have sheer papers in there, like tracing paper, deli wrap, and then the more vibrant. And then I used my pen. I got a glass pen and some ink, Ecoline ink, and I just started doodling on it. I used some white pen on the brown, just to liven up the brown spots, and then connect them by drawing shapes and things. You kind of connect the papers. So that was the last one I did, and I I think they look so artistic. They look like something you'd see in a art magazine, I think, or like stamping. I will have to glue that piece down a little bit. So the first one I did was this one, and I have printed paper, copy paper, weight printed. I had a book page that I had printed on, these green leaves, and I had, as you can see, this is the copy paper, so it gives it a lot more substance than if you don't use any firm papers. And then here's a combination of things that are on the other side. I think you'll agree that they are interesting. And then this is the second one I did. And I used I even collaged something on there. I used printed book pages. But you got to have that see-through stuff in there. That's where it kind of comes magical. See it right in there? And more interesting. So I'm going to make some more of these because I really do like them. And thanks there's only a couple of people on the internet that I have found. Cori Dahmen probably has the best, clearest tutorial. And she stitches hers, and I think she only used 3 different papers, or 2 or so, 3. And I used a few more, I think. Anyway, it's a fun thing to do. Now I'm going to take this one that I just finished gluing. I'm not sure I'm going to doodle across it. I might, because that is such fun. But it has lots of see-through. But I struggled with the last one I made because I didn't really take advantage of that outline. I should go over the outline in my efforts here. See this one here? I do have to piece that. Because if I want to cut it to be an exact 6.5-inch square, you got to have it a little extra hanging off. So that's what I'm about to do, and hopefully I'll add the envelope that came from this one to my stash and photographs. Okay, here's the result of a little doodling on the papers. I just love this type of pattern, and then by crossing it over to the other papers, it just, I think, looks pretty cool. So I love this new pen. Just rinse it underwater and it's done. And I have all these acrylic colored inks, and it just is so much fun to draw with it. Okay, well, I really love the way this one turned out. I have to say one thing: when you have such different weights of paper, folding them is a challenge. Scoring them is a challenge because you can't hardly see the scores on this very thin paper. And pushing the doohickey thing on the envelope board is also a little problem. So the best advice I can give you is find a rectangle of something that you really want to put inside of this envelope and fiddle with it like I have done to get it. So I even have a piece that I don't think is going to matter, because once I glue this on top, it'll look like it's supposed to be that way. But I urge you to fold it from corner to corner to make a center mark, corner to this corner to make a center mark, bringing these 2 pieces together more or less, to the center, and then this piece up. But don't glue it yet, because I find if you glue it, then you put the top down, it may not be the way you want to see it on the other side. So it could be a little wonky. So if it isn't, if it's almost perfect like mine, because I've been fiddling with it, you can reinforce the creases. And then what you need to do is cut it by hand. But there's a packet in here already, so I can take that out. It's one of my little fat booklets. And now I can glue this down and then cut the corners. You know how the little machine does it. Just cut your corners. You just cut from here to here and then up. And you can round off the edges if you need to, but it doesn't really matter. And likewise on these corners down here. Otherwise you get a little, it wouldn't matter if the paper's very thin, like here. If I glued that in, it might actually give it a little more substance. So those are the things I have learned, because, using this paper and then this paper, and then this paper, things just don't score so that you can see it, and they certainly don't cut. So doing it manually, it's worth it though. I think you have a little work of art. I absolutely love this one. I did doodle on it. And I will be making more of these. They're so sweet.